Hello, and welcome to day 23
Hey, y'all.
of our 30-day tongue fast, the complaining tongue. You know, DSP asks this great question. She says, are we professional complainers about the weather, traffic, long lines, slow service, the church, the pastor, the boss, the job, low pay? The list goes on and on.
Yes.
Complaining is by far the most common negative use of our tongue. No matter how well everyone's going, how everything else is going, most people can find something to express their disapproval and dissatisfaction about.
This is true.
Philippians 2:14 challenges us with this: do all things without complaining and disputing.
Yes. We see
That's
that
a challenge.
Paul warns us in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 10 through 11. And do not grumble as some of them did and were killed by the destroying angel.
Bam.
These things happened to them as examples and were written down as warnings for us, on whom the culmination of the ages has come. We see that these same Israelites in the wilderness complained about every single thing
Yes,
that
did.
God provided for, right? And did not the sea part? Did that happen? Did the manna stop? No, it didn't. So there you have it. The straw that broke the camel's back was when the 10 spies came back from spying out the promised land in Canaan with a negative report. They came back with a negative report, and everybody murmured and complained. Yeah, you should read Numbers 15 for a refresher.
Number 14.
14, for a refresher. Spoiler alert. I don't know. What is it? It ends bad. It is bad for them. Oh my gosh, it is so not pretty. I have a question. Why do you think God gets so upset when we complain?
That's a great question. Well, I think a lot of it is because it shows a lack of confidence in Him, that we're rejecting Him, and it's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know, think about when our kids complain all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, are they being grateful for all the things that we have provided for them? Or is it, maybe do we do the same thing? Are we sometimes expecting that God should serve us rather than us serve Him? As Moses told them, to the children of Israel, he said, you're not grumbling against us, you're grumbling against God. Now, when we complain, we grumble against God. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be standing against God in any way, shape, or form.
Nobody's got time for that. And when you think about it, is it truly the conditions or the people that we are really upset with, right?
Yeah.
As Sherry Langton, I really enjoyed her blog post on this subject. She says, am I being weary of wandering in my own wilderness of unrest and irritability? That I believe that I am sharing my complaints with God while I'm spreading a bad report among fellow believers. Folks, you know, complaining is serious business. And it's very contagious,
Yes,
and we
it
have to be
is.
on guard against it. And as DSP puts it, all it takes is one chronic complainer to change the entire atmosphere. And that's so true.
Yes.
But the other thing is that it can cost us. And our constant complaining can cost us from entering into our promised land.
That's important.
So when others complain to you, try countering their negativity by first showing compassion, right? That you're acknowledging their current reality. Then by putting a positive light on it.
That's good.
This prevents us from being sucked into their dark vortex of negativity, right? And the Holy Spirit, it allows the Holy Spirit to reveal Himself through us, and then we become actually light in darkness.
Yes, that's good.
So we should vent our frustrations to God. I think that's a good start.
That's a safe place.
And in Philippians 4, we see that we shouldn't be anxious about anything.
No.
We should worry about nothing, but we should pray about everything.
That's right.
In addition, in 1 Peter 5:7, we can be assured that we can cast all of our anxiety, all our cares upon Him, because He loves and cares for us.
That's huge. That's good, babe.
Yeah.
And you know, when we find ourselves beginning to complain, and we all do at some point, we need to stop and say, you know what, that's enough. Those thoughts need to be put to death, and I need to fill my mind with good things. It's like Paul wrote in Philippians 4, meditating on things that are true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to praise, not things to curse.
Amen.
See, when we make this our focus, then we allow Jesus to come alongside us as our high priest, not criticizing us, but sympathizing with us in our weakness.
Yeah.
His is a throne of grace where we can receive mercy.
Thank you, Jesus.
So our reflecting points today, we want to look at a few things. One is distinguishing between those things that are useful and useless. The useful category includes situations that are within your circle of influence, things that you can impact directly or have access to someone who can. The useless category includes situations that are time wasters, traffic, weather, long lines. So manage your life and your time in such a way that you're only minimally impacted by negative circumstances. And the second thing is, what's the one thing that you're tempted to complain about most? Think about that. To whom do you complain? Do they have the power to solve the problem? If not, why are you talking to them about it? Are you taking the responsibility or initiative for changing the problematic situation?
Yeah.
And one last one. Look at the area in your life that you complain about the most and make a commitment to yourself and to God that you're not going to complain about it for 3 to 7 days.
Okay.
And consider bringing someone else into that as accountability, and make sure it becomes a matter of prayer. Put it on your prayer list and pray that the Holy Spirit will give you the ability and the grace to not complain.
Yeah, that's a good tip. That's a good tip. And here are a few scriptures for you to reflect on, in addition to the ones that we mentioned earlier. Definitely Numbers 14, that whole chapter. I mean, that chapter is frightening in a way, because you see God at his last point, and it's just all about them doubting him, not believing him, right? And in Philippians 4, 6 through 14, that's verses 6 through 14, that's a good one. And 1 Peter 5 and 7. And with all of these scriptures, including the ones that we mentioned earlier, read them in the totality of the passage in which you find them and break them down. That means look at the original meaning of it, right? And if there are any scriptural references, go and find those scriptural references that help shed light on that. And ask God to just open your eyes so that he can reveal one nugget of truth for you, because that's what he wants to do, and claim that as your own.
He sure does.
And if this video has been a blessing, we hope it has, that you would like, share, and subscribe.
And as you know, the power of life and death is in your tongue. Please speak life. Amen. Life over every single person that you come in contact with. You don't need their permission to speak life over them.
No, that's good.
And it doesn't really matter what you think. Doesn't really matter what we think. It matters what God says.
That's right.
So get grounded in his word and empowered by his Spirit, so that you may hear, listen, and obey what Jesus' words say, no matter the cost. Have an incredible day. God bless you.
So long.
But I wasn't given the spirit of fear. I was given the power of love.